So, you know how time marches ever forwards, and with it we gain new experiences, relationships, whether friendships, romantic or antagonistic, occupations, physical changes, ideals, muscle memory, wisdom, talents, points of view, new appreciation for different styles, inside jokes, knowledge of new subjects. We consume more art. As time marches on, we just experience more life. And surprise, surprise, this incredible accumulation of life we experience also affects us as people. One way is revered. The wisdom of our elders is respected, and stories from the lives of those older than us are often treasured. But the physical side of things, our wrinkles and scars, we try to hide them. Cover it up, pretend it's not there. We put on masks to paint the illusion that time is passing us by. Our bodies have not lived that life, only our minds. Who wants to admit they age? I think that this is ridiculous. I'm 26. I'll be 27 tomorrow, and I already have the physical story of my life written on my body. And it's beautiful. I'm not just a mind piloting a flesh suit. My body is an inextricable part of who I am. If I was a foot taller, had different color skin, different muscle composition, different genetic tendencies or wiring in my brain, I wouldn't be who I am today. So again, my body is an amazing part of me. It's a miracle, it's beautiful, and it tells the story of my life in its own way, and will continue to do so as I continue to live that life. Here on YouTube, I've seen videos where people give you a tour of something they care about, something that's an important part of their life in some way. I've seen house tours from folks excited to share their new homes. I've seen studio tours from those who are expanding their talent and art. Tattoo tours where people share the incredible meaning and artistry inked onto their skin are the closest thing I've seen to my idea for this video. But I've never seen a wrinkle tour. I think I'm the first person to execute this concept. At least, that's what the search results tell me. I think the world needs this. What do you think? Seriously, I'd love to have a conversation with you guys in the comments about this stuff. I think it's so important. The first time I ever really noticed lines on my face was around the time I took this selfie with my mom. This was almost exactly 5 years ago, so wrinkles at 21, 22 years old. I'll be honest, I wasn't super happy to see these lines at first. They made me look older, and I'm not immune to cultural conditioning. But look at these beauties. They're here because I smile a lot. Every joke I've laughed at, every good time I've had with friends, every heartwarming moment, every time I've laughed so hard I've almost cried, they're all stacked on top of each other to make these dimples and creases. And the same is true for my eyes. I bet these are going to be distinct when I'm older. But a story of happiness written on my face? Why would I want to cover that up? My forehead doesn't show much yet, but every look of surprise, confusion, disgust, concern, and sadness will all be remembered up here as well. All things I've learned and grown through just chilling up here with me. I want to take a quick aside to say, this doesn't mean I don't think you should take care of your skin. On the contrary, you have a beautiful body. Doing things to nurture and care for it is wonderful. Moisturize your skin, protect it from the sun. That's awesome. I just think that trying to hide the natural effects of our lives is a little bit silly when you think about it. Also, what I'm talking about obviously doesn't apply to a situation where there is trauma around a scar or other mark as well. We're all dealing with life in our own way. I'm not here to tell you you have to find the good in everything and try to celebrate something that represents something very hurtful to you. Situations like that 100% require nuance and a compassionate response. And if that event doesn't deserve to be remembered on your skin, you of course have the right to deal with it however is best for you. I'm just here to talk about my wrinkles that a lot of society wants me to hate. I'm also not judging you if you don't love your wrinkles. I'm just sharing my viewpoint and perspective. I think my absolute favorite thing about YouTube is being able to see points of view from all sorts of people with such different lives from my own. I hope to add to that amazing vastness available on here with just this little conviction of my own. So over here, I still have a little bit of a scar. I told everyone it was from opening a door into my head. I don't know why I thought that was less embarrassing than scratching a zit open. I didn't know how to handle spots for a very long time. I didn't know you could, squeeze the infected stuff out if it was already scratched open and probably help more than you would hurt. So, this just took a real long time to heal. How about my stretch marks? I know, right? This tiny little thing has stretch marks. You bet I do! Little baby Heather was a gymnast, and in high school I played soccer, so for a good long while I had pretty strong legs. I feel like these muscles got pretty big in high school, and I know they're way thinner now than they were then, so I assume that's where these came from. But if I'm honest, I'm not 100% certain. Honestly, I'd love to regain some strength in my legs down the road. I want to be able to do a backflip again, so I'm really curious how this would change if and when I manage that. Which brings me to another point. I realize I'm not at an age where I have real wrinkles yet.
Come on, Heather. It's easy to love yourself when you're already adorable and match nicely with societal beauty standards.
I don't know where I got that voice from, but I'm keeping it. And I agree, it's probably easier for me. My mom told me I was beautiful when I was a little girl, and I've continued to believe her ever since. I've seen positive representation of people who look like me, so subconsciously it's probably pretty easy to value myself. But I also really agree with my logic and reasoning behind this. And so I want to commit to making this video again, and again, and again, somewhere down the road. I'd love to see how my wrinkles grow and my face and body change. What a cool way to reflect on my life. So what other scars am I hiding? This one isn't visible scar tissue, but when I was around 12, I think, I fell on this shoulder really badly and subluxated it. The doctor said I wouldn't have been able to put it back in my socket myself if it was a full dislocation. So subluxation is just when it comes out of the joint some. And because I have loose ligaments, this stretched out the ligaments in there a bit, and it made it way easier for our friend here to subluxate again, and again, and again. At some point down the road, I got sent to physical therapy to strengthen the muscles around my shoulder and have them hold things in place since my ligaments weren't doing their job, but I didn't really stick with that, and so had lots of fun, painful times. Bright side here is with aerial stuff, you strengthen your shoulders, really a lot of muscles, arms, back, core, a ton, and I haven't had her subluxate at all, even in riskier motions, since I started learning. What do I have left? Speedrun. Doesn't really count, but when I sit all hunched over, I get this line on my tummy. I have different bits on my chest in general that don't seem to take color from the sun. So like, if I get pink from the sun, they'll stay white. And the most noticeable right now in our bleary March weather, when my skin hasn't seen the sun in decades, is this little bit here that kind of looks like an upside down heart. I don't know if it's a birthmark or a scar, but I have this straight white line running along the edge of my left wrist that I always thought was pretty cool and cute. I am sure I've got some scars on my back from zits in high school. I was really insecure about that back in the day. But honestly, I can't see back there, so I couldn't tell you. Got a bunch of moles. This one grows a fine little crop of hair. He's very industrious. And I think that's it. I did take more footage of the rest of my body, so if when things change down the road, I do have younger Heather to compare for future videos. I'm pretty unique and beautiful in my opinion, and I love the little ways my body reflects my life and story thus far. I think this about everybody really, but I can only show you me having compassion and love for myself. No one ever believes me when I tell them about them. People don't like to believe the truth about them. They don't like to see how gorgeous they are. It's very upsetting. But I'm deviating from my script. I really want to encourage others to try this idea of a wrinkle tour yourself. Practicing love for ourselves is always worth it, in my opinion. And please, let's talk more in the comments about this. I am sure there is nuance I've missed. I would love so much to talk further. If there's ever a style video to go viral, I hope it's this one. I want to see all of your stories. Love you guys. See you next time.